Welcome, friends, to Today in Prophecy Daily News in 15 minutes or less. News with the Bible as perspective. Hey, before we get going, don't forget our Texas conference is coming up just 2 weeks out. Look forward to seeing you, meeting many of you there. It is going to be an absolute over-the-top conference. You got to register. Looking forward to see you. God bless you, but let's get rolling with the news. Check out this first story. Scientist warns that new synthetic life form could spell doom for humankind. If this is achieved and Pandora's box opens, it could pose extraordinary risks. Okay, I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. This is news that just started coming out the last few days. Basically, it's mirrored organisms. In other words, there could become because of a lab. Could you imagine experiments going on in the lab? Well, apparently, it appears that's been going on. If this gets out of hand, there becomes two of you. It is just absolutely bizarre. And so we look at, and this article warns, look, this is the end of humanity if this gets out, if this actually comes about and happens. And we think, all right, we already have the threats of AI, all the things going on with chemical warfare, wars and rumors of wars. We have all of these different dynamics that are taking place at the same time. And then you throw this into the mix, and then you think of the words where Jesus himself said in all of the discourse, unless those days are shortened, no flesh would be saved. And friends, it's just like one after another. We have these threats against humanity to end all life here on earth. And then you read something like the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 21, where Jesus himself said, listen, the day is coming when men's hearts will fail them from the fear and expectation of things that are coming on the earth. You read things like this, and I would imagine this is one of the reasons why anxiety is increasing, because if people don't have a proper understanding of the Bible, you start looking at all of the stuff out there. Man, it is scary, but praise God. With the right understanding of the Bible, you can navigate the days that we live in and realize, okay, God has this. He's in control. He's a sovereign one. He warned us that it was going to get this way. So what do? We keep looking to him. Next story, IDF eliminates Hamas cell, finds weapons depot on Gaza City outskirts. Gee, what a shock that is. You won't hear, we hear and are constantly bombarded with all of the anti-Israel rhetoric. Unbelievable, the lies that are being told. Listen, where did they get the money to buy these weapons? Well, Qatar, Iran, and how about U.S. tax dollars to fund certain things within Gaza and the areas of Judea and Samaria. Where does all of that go? Well, where do you think it all goes? Building 500 miles of tunnels from money given from Western nations. 500 miles of tunnels in order for Hamas terrorists to escape, but leave the children and the women on top so that they could suffer the ravages of war. But you don't hear these types of things from mainstream media. But you look at this and you go, this is the reality about the world that we live in. And what a surprise. IDF finds weapons there in Gaza, near Gaza City. I'm so shocked. Okay, I want to go back to yesterday. We're going to look at the school shooting. Check this out. Here's Jen Psaki, right? Remember Jen Psaki from the Biden administration? I think she was with the Biden administration for a while, the spokesperson there. Okay, so check out what she says regarding the shooting. Former Biden official Jen Psaki is facing backlash after criticizing calls for prayer following the deadly shooting. Prayer is not freaking enough, she says. Prayers do not end school shootings. Prayers do not make parents feel safe sending their kids to school. Prayer does not bring these kids back. Enough with the thoughts and prayers. So you look at this and you go, okay, Jen, let's just go with your direction. Let's face some facts about what is really going on that nobody wants to pay attention to. Look at this. Let's just look at some shootings. Look at this. The Denver shooter was transgender. Aberdeen shooter, look at this, transgender. What's the next one? Nashville shooter, transgender. Georgia shooter, transgender. Look at these: Philadelphia shooter, Iowa shooter, Uvalde shooter, Colorado shooter, Minnesota shooter, transgender. You look at that and you go, don't you think there's some kind of bizarre pattern here? I'm telling you, the stuff that's happening is demonic. The only thing that demons respond to is prayer. But whatever, let's blame the guns, not blame what our leftist Marxist institutions have intentionally done to people. So this kid was 22 years old. So where was he? The last 5 years being trained in American schools. He was clearly anti-Semitic. All right, let's show a few more things here. Check this out. This is from the shooter's, check this out, from the shooter's gun. Look at that. What's he say? This is what Misfit Patriot says, this is exactly what I've been fighting so hard to prevent, and today we failed. Look at what he had on there. We've seen many other things. 16 million or 6 million wasn't enough. What's he referring to? This is that transgender shooter in Minnesota. 6 million Jews wasn't enough. And then Stu Peters, look at this. 5 hours before 2 Jews were murdered in cold blood on American soil. This is a while back. Remember this happening at D.C.? What did Stu Peters post? Final solutions are great. What's that a reference to? It's a reference to the days of Hitler and the final solutions. Look at this down below. You want to know what to do? Start advocating for a final solution. So here it is. You have guys like Stu Peters who say, hey, let's kill all the Jews. Remember, Stu Peters became very popular during COVID. I know many of you followed him, maybe still do. But you'll look at this. So it's people like that, the Tucker Carlsons, the Candace Owens, and the people who have a loud voice out there that are on the right. This guy, the shooter yesterday, radically left. But nevertheless, what do you have? All these different voices that are saying, kill the Jews. In this case, this guy doesn't even go after Jews. He goes after little children, but he hated Jews. Let me show you some more pictures from the transgender shooter. All right, so this first one, it's from regarding Pakistan. Check out this picture. Look at this. This first one. We'll pull it up here in just a second. That is that the one I wanted first? Okay, we're going to go with it. So, breaking Catholic school shooter Robin M. Westman had Israel must fall and gas the Jews on his rifles, as we saw, as well as killed Trump. He was a pro-Palestinian lunatic. Let's go to the next picture. The header of this page reads, help. The bottom of the page reads, die, die, die. The shooter says he would not commit a shooting out of racism, but would commit a shooting motivated by anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. Let's go to the next one. Despite the shooter posting open anti-Semitism, anti-Israel messages, including 6 million wasn't enough, Pakistani bot accounts are already working overtime to spin the narrative. Truly sick. Look at what this narrative says on this one. Check this out. Look, I don't know if you can see it down below, but I'll read it to you. This is what it says. A transgender who committed a mass shooting has been identified as a Jewish American named Rob Westman. We need every synagogue to be investigated. I want you to let that sink in. Look at what he says again. Posted by Red Pill Media. We need every synagogue to be investigated. Wait a minute. This guy hates the Jews, clearly hates them, wants to have them all slaughtered. And this guy says, let's go and have every synagogue investigated. I mean, I look at this stuff and go, pretty unbelievable when you start looking at all of these different dynamics. You look at that and you think, well, is this supposed to be some kind of satire? Because we would say something like this with Islam. If somebody was Islamic, let's go have all the mosques investigated. You look at this and you just go, what the heck is really going on here? Next picture. Check this out. Here it is. Where is your God? Again, more of the things on this shooter's manifesto and some of the pictures he has been leaked. Let's go to the next one. I'll read this to you. With regards to my motivations behind the attack, this is his manifesto or her manifesto, whatever they were. I can't really put my finger on a specific purpose. It definitely wouldn't be for racism or white supremacy. Those fools seem to always get clowned and jailed. I don't really like blaming groups of people of color. I don't give enough of a bleep about them to take my life over them. If I did carry out something rash, motivations would most likely be against filthy Zionist Jews. Wow. I hate those entitled penny-pitching kikes. Free Palestine. Okay, just with that first paragraph, what side do you think this person was on? Just think about that. What side do you think they were on? I think my dream would be to shoot up a small or mid-grade school like Adam Lanza, but that has probably only realistically up to sometime in 2025. I'm not sure what he means there. I don't want to do it too far ahead, a mess. I do it to please myself. I do it because I'm sick. I am twisted. I want children to scream for help. I want old ladies praying for their lives. I want men to think they can stop me, only for me to stop them dead in their tracks. All right, I look at this, and what do you think? Do you think this person hated Jews? And yet he goes out, he also hates little children too, and he goes out to a Catholic school of all things. And then you have people say, let's investigate the Jews. The Jews are the problem. Let's have a final solution against the Jews. Friends, there's a reason for the increased anti-Semitic attacks. By the way, with this person, whatever they, them were, transgender, in these consistent transgender shootings, kind of odd. Have one of they, them go to one of these Muslim countries, and you know what they're going to become? Were. That's the fact. But you look at all of these things and you go, what in the world is going on? Why the increase in anti-Semitism? Even with the school, we see it. It's because of the last days prophecies that tell us it's going to be this way, because the enemy of our souls, the devil himself, knows that Jesus himself promised to come back to Israel, to the Jews. In Matthew chapter 23, Jesus said to the Jews, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Until you say, Hosanna, Lord, save us. At that point, Jesus is going to return at the end of the tribulation period, not until then. And it's at that point that Antichrist and false prophet will be cast into the lake of fire. Listen, Satan is doing everything he can to attempt Jesus, to keep Jesus from returning to this planet. So what does he have to do? He has to eliminate the Jews. And if he can't eliminate the Jews, then at the end of the tribulation, which he won't be able to eliminate the Jews, but there's target right now. That's what's going on. If there's no Jews left, Jesus can't come back. He can't fulfill the promise that he made. The other thing is, if he can't eliminate the Jews, which he won't be able to, then he's going to make war with the nations of the world at the time of Armageddon to turn his attention to attempt to eliminate Jesus when he comes back in Revelation chapter 19. It is not going to work. But that is what is happening right now. Satan is inspiring the people that follow him to go after the Jews, to attack the Jews, to eliminate the Jews. Anti-Semitism is increasing. It's going to continue to increase. It's going to reach a fever pitch. And the Bible tells us this, but it also reminds us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, which literally means pray that the Messiah, Jesus, will return, because Israel will not have genuine peace. They'll have a fake peace. They will not have a genuine peace until Jesus comes back. God bless you guys. Lots of things to pray about. We'll see you next time.